connection and opportunity. All in one place. Come join the community. So text it now, don't wait in line. Fight for life. 949298290. That's 9492905.
Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Thank you very much. This will be coming on here now. This is our Friday training. We've been doing it for 28 years, and it'll be 29 October 11th, which is getting closer and closer each and every minute. But we're blessed to be here. Today's training that we're going to be doing is turning desire into action, ironically, in understanding that conversion of not just wanting it or feeling as if you need it, but actually doing something, saying something, thinking something, feeling something, believing something in alignment with what you desire. And so many of us, we sit at home desiring what we want, but we don't seem to get started, get up, get back started, get back up. And so this training will be here to help you and others, of course, with that. But before we get to the training, I'm blessed to have an unbelievable MC, host, moderator in the multicast world here with me for my Friday trainings, my Napoleon Hill Wednesday trainings, and all of the over 200 cities and events that we're doing. Nick of WOM, are you here?
Good morning, good sir. How are you?
I am amazing. In fact, that would be an understatement. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. No place I would rather be on a Friday morning. How about I go ahead and properly set the room, invite but not obligate everybody, and then I'll kick it back to you to get started. How does that sound?
It sounds better than good. Thank you, brother.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, happy Friday, everybody. Not just here. That's in the Breakfast with Champions, the greatest room in community on Clubhouse, but as David mentioned, on all platforms, as we are multicasting live for another edition of David's Free Friday trainings, which he's been doing for over 28 years. As David mentioned, today's topic is turning desire into action. And I know that everybody's going to want the guide and exercise from today's training. So all you're going to need to do is email the beloved servant himself. That's David at dmeltzer.com. Once again, that is just David at dmeltzer.com to get the guide and exercise from today's training. And if for any reason, if you don't have a copy of David's book, just mention it to him. He'll be happy to throw it in, send you a copy, sign a copy, and even pay for shipping. If it is free, it is we, people. All you got to do is email David directly, David at dmeltzer.com. And of course, it would not be another edition of David's Free Friday trainings if we were not inviting but not obligating everybody in our community to come and join us in person. Of course, as we are on tour over 200 cities every single year, adding on in each and every one of our cities what we call a car wash, which is the addition of a community meetup, holding court, or even one of our VIP dinners for charity. So come and join us this weekend as we are going to be in Chicago, Illinois for the next stop on the car wash tour before we jump back to Newport Beach, California for our mastermind with the incredible Tim Story and Marie Diamond and John Coyle, Austin Keene, Dr. Stefano Sinacropi, and so many more, adding on a car wash both in Chicago as well as Newport Beach. Then from there, it'll be off to Viva Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, making a quick pit stop at Philadelphia for the MLB All-Star Game, before we'll be back in New York City for Fanatics Fest 2026 with all the GOATs, whether it's Travis Scott, Tom Brady, Marshall Faulk, Jay-Z. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Then from there, we'll be back at the greatest stadium in the world. Thank you, FIFA. That's SoFi Stadium for the next edition of our mastermind in July. Then we'll be in Miami with Messi and Inter CF Miami, plus car wash. Then we'll be in London for our private members only mastermind plus car wash. And then we'll be in Breckenridge, Colorado with the Breckenridge Golf Club, adding on a car wash there in Colorado as well. Now, we know that is way too much to keep up with, which is intentional. And that's why we created our text community, to give you the reminders on where we're going to be in all of these 200 invitations, but not obligations, if not more, every single year. So ladies and gentlemen, just text us if you would like to be invited at area code 949. Next 3 digits are 298. And the last 4 digits are 2905. For all of our friends in the multicast, we'll make sure to put that in the chat, as well as for our friends here in the Breakfast with Champions. Let alone, we of course will make sure to remind you at the end of today's training. But without further ado, Mr. Meltzer, I turn it back over to you to empower us for the first 30 minutes on turning desire into action.
Thank you, Nick of WAM. Amazing. And we'll be doing Ryder Cup of Wine at the finale there in Breckenridge, Colorado. So if you haven't done a Ryder Cup of Wine with Virgil Herring, the #1 PGA coach in the world, you haven't done a wine tasting. All right. Great history, great event, great experience, business development, and of course, some killer content, as we always do, Nick. All right, here we go. Obviously, we all have desires, dreams, goals, objectives, but desire alone doesn't create the achievement, the outcome, the results that we desire or better. The difference between wishing for a better future and creating one is our ability to align our thoughts, our emotions, beliefs, our words, and our actions. Every result begins internally before it appears externally. So in other words, it happens twice, because our thoughts become our perceptions, and our perceptions give meaning to what we do. And that meaning is what fuels our actions, our behavior. And that behavior is what creates the results. Dreaming about the results is just a start, but we need intention. We need to do, say, think, feel, and believe where we want to be or better before it appears externally. We've all known people with incredible skills, incredible knowledge, and incredible talent, and even ambition, who never reach where they want to be, or even better, their potential. While others with fewer resources somehow achieved extraordinary success through that consistent, persistent pursuit of their potential in doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing what they desire. It is desire that's the spark that will get us up, get us back up, get us started, get us back started. But it is this intention, this action fueled by conviction of a consistent, persistent pursuit, a desire that you must be what you can be or get to where you must be, that creates the transformation of the information. Our subconscious mind becomes the bridge between what we want and what we ultimately achieve. once again, as a reminder, if you'd like to replay the guides, the exercises from today, just email me. David means beloved, at D is my first initial, Meltzer means servant. Email me. Let me be a beloved servant to you. David at dmeltzer.com. The first lesson in turning our desire to be what we must be or become is that feed our minds intentionally. Don't just be intentional about what you say, what you do, but feed our minds intentionally. Our subconscious competency that runs from the subconscious to the unconscious mind, from the conscious mind, our subconscious mind never stops. It never stops. It's a repetitive engine, an intermediate source of information. It's turning all those ideas, those thoughts into a form. Our subconscious mind never stops. And about 80% of those thoughts in the subconscious mind that never stop, unfortunately, are negative. Every conversation we have, every experience, and every thought becomes an investment then that influences our future decisions and behaviors, our future thoughts that become future perceptions, future meaning, and future behavior, which becomes future results. If we spend our days consuming negativity, if we spend our days responding to the fear that needs us to defend ourselves, to prove ourselves, to control the uncontrollable, the circumstances, the uncertainty of the future, if we spend our days consuming distraction, these inputs into our conscious cellular structure, the short-term memory that we have, this cellular memory that we have, these inputs begin shaping our subconscious mind, which will change our genetic and our energetic inheritance. It will change our beliefs. It will change our behaviors. If we intentionally consume wisdom, gratitude, and possibility, probability, and perspective that give us the meaning, that gives us our behaviors, our thinking, our thoughts begin moving in that exact same direction. We must realize that every thought that we have is an investment. Just as compound interest grows with our financial wealth, consistent positive inputs compound into greater confidence, opportunity, options, touches of favor, achievements, and ease. If we're not auditing the daily inputs, if we're not utilizing the cancel, clear, collect mechanism that includes, please mute that, Nick, includes our conversations, media, relationships, eliminating influence that creates this reaction of the need to defend, to control, to prove, that creates the limitation of the meaning of our past, the limitation of our self-image, knowing we'll never overachieve that self-image. We need to replace the content, the people, places, things, events, circumstances with the future that we want to create. If you would like the guide, or you would like the cancel, clear, connect mechanism to clear the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious competencies so that we feed our minds intentionally, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The second lesson, we need to give our objectives, our alignment, our divine direction, our goals, emotional power, energy, emotion, intuition, intelligence, and inspiration. Our thoughts become powerful when they're combined with the energy and motion, with the emotion. Our emotion tells our subconscious what deserves prioritization, what deserves attention, what deserves intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe. It is that emotion that is the prioritizer of what's important to the subconscious, which then has the most impact on the unconscious competency, our genetic and energetic inheritance. A goal, a divine direction, an objective, a divine direction connected to gratitude with purpose, thoughts with purpose, and service, action, creates far more motivation and inspiration than one person that solely is focused in on the end results, on money or recognition, which satisfies, by the way, the need to be what? Right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry. It proves or it defends or it controls the situation when we attach our emotions to money or recognition. This energy and emotion, whatever emotions we repeatedly attach to what we feel, to our divine direction, our goals, our outcomes, that is which becomes the fuel that moves us forward. When we connect with all the divine, the meaning of the past in the divine, the present with the divine, and our future with the divine, with gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, we will have a definiteness of purpose, the common denominator of all successful people, the ability to need to be what we want to be or become. Focus on who will benefit when we succeed, who can help us succeed. The fastest way to get to where we want to be is to look for those who's, to look to Scott Simon and TM, look to the people that sit in the situation you want to be in and ask them for direction, but also don't forget the people that you can help get to where they want to be. That's why we're here in this neighborhood, this frequency of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. We need to visualize all around us, not just putting up a vision board. Your home is a vision board, as Marie Diamond talks about. If you haven't checked out the Marie Diamond app or Marie Diamond about how to use all visualization of everything we surround ourselves with the divine direction, our goals and objectives, while experiencing positive emotions. This is what I wrote about in Don't Do Business with Dicks. Understanding how toxicity needs to be ditched, how we need to surround ourselves with the positive influences using gratitude, empathy, accountability, and inspiration. If you want to learn more about how to give our divine direction, our goals, our objectives, emotional power, energy, and motion, just email me, David, that means beloved, at D, first initial, Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Email me. We'll give you the replay, the guides, and the exercises from today. Happy to help. The third lesson on turning this desire into action is focus on possibility instead of past limitations. Our subconscious, that repetitive intermediate decision of information that's informing you on what to do, say, think, feel, and believe, informing the universe on what to put into form, monetization or materialization of that focus. We need to focus on the possibilities that will turn to probabilities, that will turn to perspective, that will turn to your reality. Our subconscious mind will respond to whatever we consistently not only pay attention to, but give intention to. It will respond to it. That's why attention plus intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, that's called focus, turns into the coincidences, the coinciding of what we desire, the materialization or monetization of what we desire. When we focus on obstacles, interference, we notice more interference. When we're worried, not only are we creating interference between us and our divine direction, but we're wishing for what we don't want. When you have anxiety, frustration, anger, guilt, resentment, separation, inferiority, superiority, all of these things interfere with what we want and give you more of what you don't want. But when we focus in on what we want, those opportunities, our nothingness, pushing a boulder to the top of the hill just to have it roll down to the bottom, living our lives like tubes, food in and food out. When we focus on the opportunities, options, and touches of favor, we begin finding resolution. Because every problem that we will encounter already has the solution. It's just a lapse of time before it becomes a resolution, a resolution. And that's how you begin fueling the resolution, by focusing in on what you want in a divine direction of where you want to be, and aligning the meaning of the past by making your thoughts, your perspective, your meaning, and the meaning, the behaviors that are aligned in that divine direction. Different people experience the same challenge. Some of them see only setbacks, failures, and mistakes, while the others discover the lessons, the relationships, the opportunities, the touches of favor, because of where they place their intention and pay attention to it by doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing aligned with that place. Our focus, which is attention plus intention, which equals the coincidences, our focus determines our thoughts, our perspective, our meaning, our behaviors, and it is our behaviors aligned with our divine direction that will get us the results we desire or better. This is how we replace scarcity, interfering thinking, with abundant thinking, with more than enough thinking, with the wisdom and faith that's necessary to shorten that distance of resistance. The necessary distance of resistance. It's interesting today because when I grew up, knowledge was power, right? And today, knowledge is a commodity. You can get knowledge everywhere at the touch of your finger, at speeds in which I never could imagine, with accuracy and creativity that I never imagined, which just makes wisdom, as my friend who was the real estate person that was on at the very end of Scott Simon's segment was talking about, why AI won't replace her, because AI just makes her more human. And the wisdom of humanity cannot be replaced. Knowledge can, right? You know, how to do a contract and all the different administrative things can easily be done much better with humans. But that's why AI is placed here, to make humans more human, because wisdom is not a commodity. Knowledge is. And it's your wisdom and faith that will replace scarcity with abundant thinking. Ask yourself, what is it I want? Categorize things. Is this aligned with what I want, or is this interfering with what I want? Train ourselves to look for the opportunities, the resolutions in every problem, challenge, setback, and mistake. It's there. It's just a lapse of time until you find it. That's why it's called a resolution. It's already there. Find those resolutions. Move in your divine direction. Turn your possibilities into probabilities, your probabilities into your perspective into your meaning into your behaviors into your reality. There's the formula of results. But it only happens if we focus on the possibilities instead of the limitations. We put limitations when we look at our past mistakes, failures, setbacks, defining moments, and historical relevances. We limit our self-image, noting, as I mentioned before, you'll never overachieve your own self-image. Let's expand your self-image as the universe is expanding, as you are and walk with the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing that loves you more than your mom. If you would like the exercise guide or replay of lesson number 3, or the whole shebang, just email me, David, pinned right there on the screen, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. The 4th lesson, build your intention through repetition, through the enjoyment of, I'm going to repeat, the enjoyment of the consistent, which human beings don't like, persistent, which human beings don't like, pursuit of your potential, with human beings don't like their own potential. They like to listen to what they can't do, what other people want, what's missing, what they don't have, what social media wants, instead of building belief through their own enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of their potential, of what they want. Comfortability and confidence isn't created overnight, or we all would be experts so quickly. Every repeated thought, action, words, beliefs, feelings, every one of these repeated intentions strengthen our behaviors, strengthen our internal being, strengthen what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, that shape our identity, expand, grow our identity, and give us a bigger vessel to receive and to give and to ask. So many athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders that I work with don't become confident because they never fail. They become confident because they've consistently practiced excellence and found resolutions when they did fail. Your job is to be a resolutioner, a resolutioner. We're not confident because we never fail. Just ask Michael Jordan. We're confident because of what we learn from when we fail. Success isn't an event. It's the outcomes of repeated behaviors becoming part of who we are. It is the meaning and the behaviors that determine who we are. That also, by the way, defines our success, our outcomes, our results, that are accelerating through that behavior, aggregating through that behavior, and compounding exponentially through that behavior. When we create these daily thoughts, daily perceptions, daily meanings, and daily behaviors that are aligned in the divine direction of where we want to be or better, this is what will accelerate, aggregate, and compound those results. When we repeat these empowering thoughts, words, beliefs, feelings, every morning and every night, when we repeat gratitude alone, 0.1 seconds, and it's free every night before we go to bed and every morning when we wake up. And if you could do that for 30 straight days, which seems so simple because it's free and it's 0.1 seconds, but it's not, because we all know the simple things to do are simple not to do. It took me 9 months before I did not miss one night or one morning of saying thank you, even though I never heard anyone that told me that gratitude is anything but the most impactful thing that we can do, say, think, feel, or believe. When we are building these beliefs through repetition, through the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our potential, we reinforce that identity through that behavioral equation of positive results. If you want to learn how to build your beliefs through repetition, if you want to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of that potential, then email me. David means beloved, at D, first initial, Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Let me build your beliefs through repetition. Email me, David at dmeltzer.com. The fifth lesson is the difference between behavior or the desire and devotion, the discipline and devotion. We need to turn this desire into devotion, into conviction. You see, so many people are disciplined, but they're disciplined without devotion, without divine direction, without the conviction. They're disciplined in their work. They're disciplined in the work, but they wonder why they don't make any money. They're so busy working, they don't make any money. They're disciplined in the work and they don't spend any time with their family and wonder, how can I be so disciplined when I work for my family, not any time with my family? Oh, and I'm also disciplined in my health, my work. How come I'm not healthy? Because you're disciplined. You're not devotional. You lack the conviction. It is free will that allows us to do, say, think, feel, and believe what we want in alignment with where we want to be. by doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing. Think about how easy it is, knowing that we have complete control over what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, and how we respond to it, to quit smoking. I'll give you the solution. I know there's billions of dollars in quit smoking, but if you never put a cigarette in your mouth, you will quit smoking. How can I not put a cigarette in my mouth? It's called free will. I'm not going to do, say, think, feel, or believe that I need to put a cigarette in my mouth. But that takes conviction. It takes devotion, not just discipline. If it's just discipline, you would be overwhelmed with the desire, the conviction to put a cigarette in your mouth. So many people are drifters, and they're interested in the results. They're in fact attached emotionally to those results. They're so interested in their success, but only a few aren't drifting. Only a few become convicted, devotional, committed by turning and taking that thought of success and doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing it every single day when circumstances become difficult because there is no evidence we're going to get to where we want to be, or the evidence is contrary to where we want to be. That's when you have to find the light, the love, and the lessons through gratitude. That's when you need to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made. That's when you need to be accountable and ask yourself, what did I do to be responsible, to participate in this perception, to attract this to myself, and what am I supposed to learn from it? When there's no evidence, or the evidence is contrary to what it'll be, that's what you need to do to be inspired in spirit, to be at your highest self, to access the infinite amount of energy, intuition, intelligence, and inspiration that you are part and parcel of. When a person is interested in getting healthy, but exercises when it's convenient, they're an extra miler, no pun intended, in their exercise. They're an extra miler. They go the extra mile every once in a while, jog, 13 miles on a Saturday. They go the extra mile every once in a while and then use that to justify why they aren't where they want to be. A person who's committed to their health shows up regardless of the mood, weather, or the schedule. They show up every day with a minimum amount of assigned time. They make it their non-negotiable behavior, no matter what the circumstances of the day are. I'm going to do a minimum of an hour on my health every single day. That's a non-negotiable behavior. That takes circumstances out of your life. That gives you control in which the ego desires. That is what will allow you to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Stop being an extra miler, be an empty miler where nobody is, because humans and human nature hate being repetitive and honest. And you got to be repetitive and honest if you're going to turn your desire into conviction, into devotion. The difference between interest, discipline, and commitment is devotion, is the discipline plus the divine direction and intention and conviction that it takes. Conviction will transform the desire, the discipline, into consistent, persistent action and align you with the divine direction in which you choose. That difference is simply devotion. That's why it's not just wisdom, which will never be a commodity, which will allow you to use AI and knowledge. That's what AI is, knowledge. It will allow you to use it to make you more human and allow you to transform that desire into consistent action in a persistent manner in the pursuit of your potential, not what other people think, not what other people want or desire. We need to know our what we want in alignment with where we want to be, and align the meaning of our past by the thoughts, the perceptions, the meaning, and the behaviors. But we also need to know our who we can help and who can help us, so we can figure out the how with either non-negotiable behavior or negotiable behavior. We need to connect with our source of omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, infinite, abundant, unified system of intelligence, intuition, and inspiration every single day. We need to connect it to the thoughts about our purpose, which turns into the perception of our purpose, which turns into the meaning of our purpose, which turns into purposeful behavior and purposeful results. So if we know our what, or who, or how, we can do it now and do it next, and knowing 100% of the things we do now get done. And the 100% of the things we do next get done, even though 99% of all statistics are made up. When we connect to our purpose, we serve as the beloved servant you are. Let's take inventory of what we want, who we can help, who can help us, how to get it done, and know the divine direction and the non-negotiable behaviors, and then prioritize the other hours of the day of circumstantial behavior to know our now and know our next, so we can apply our why. Stop searching for your purpose. Stop searching for your why. Just apply it. Identify what you're doing to control, defend, or prove yourself, and move then by stopping, dropping, breathing, and rolling into your divine direction. When your mind, body, and soul are on fire, you got to stop, drop, and roll. If you would like the exercises, guides, books, the replay from today, from lesson number 5, especially turning desire into conviction, if you want to learn to stop, drop, and roll, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. The final lesson for today, turning desire into intention or action. Build your faith through your behaviors, through your action, through your intention. Faith isn't waiting for certainty. It's not waiting for certainty before you act. Faith is always there, especially when the evidence isn't. Faith is always there, especially when the evidence isn't. Faith grows as we consistently, persistently pursue our potential by keeping the promises to ourselves each and every day, and creating that evidence through intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, and executing on it in the empty mile, not the extra mile. We're building this faith through what we pay attention and give intention to, through the thoughts, the perceptions, the meaning, and behaviors. And it becomes easier, not dis-easier. Every completed workout, by the way, so many mornings I wake up at 4 a.m. after my meditation for 20 minutes and say to myself, I don't want to work out, but I've never worked out and said to myself, I wish I didn't work out. Every completed workout I finished, every difficult, uncomfortable situation, conversation, or business opportunity strengthens our confidence, gives us comfortability through ease that we're capable of achieving what we desire or better. And it gives us bigger and brighter goals every time we've completed. Faith is not blind optimism, though. Faith isn't just prayer and sitting on the couch high and broke and sick on your mom's couch dreaming about what you want with faith that God will provide it to you. It's not blind optimism. Faith isn't blind optimism, easy for me to say. It's confidence and comfortability and ease earned through the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential with non-negotiable behaviors and the circumstantial prioritization of negotiable behaviors. Our non-negotiable behaviors should make sure we should include our sleep and our health and our family and our finance, our faith, the study of time, of course, and the study of relativity or meaning of the time, so that all of our thoughts, words, beliefs, feelings are aligned in the divine that turn into our perception into meaning, and meaning into those behaviors every single day, enjoying it consistently, persistently in the pursuit of our potential. Learning to love what we don't like or love. Learning to love what we don't like or love about what we love. If anybody wants a better relationship, teach your spouse to learn to love what they don't like or love about what they love you. Celebrate all that's celebratable. Celebrate the small, consistent, persistent behavior. Celebrate your non-negotiables. Keep our promises that we make to ourselves, and you'll keep the promises that you make to others. This will build confidence. This will make you comfortable. This will allow you to take action before we feel ready. This will build our faith. It's wisdom and faith that shorten that distance of position between the struggle and solution that exists and the resolution. It is wisdom and faith that shorten that distance of resistance that we create for ourselves. If you would like to learn how to build faith, if you'd like to replay the guys' exercises, email me. David means beloved at D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Pin right below. Turning our desire into intention and action. Every result, every outcome, every achievement we admire was created internally first before it became visible externally. Everything happens twice. One inside, one outside. Everything happens twice. It starts with our thoughts, and then it moves to perception, perception to meaning, meaning to what we do, say, think, feel, and believe. Attention plus intention equals these coincidences, the coinciding of the universe outside of us with what we desire inside of us, or better, we don't know because there's no evidence and the evidence is contrary. We don't know because we're not omniscient, all powerful, and all knowing. We don't know what's better for us. So we have to have faith as well. Our thoughts shape our perception. Our perception shapes our meaning. Our meaning shapes our behaviors. Our behaviors shape our results. It's that simple. It's the formula of turning desire into intention or action. The highest performers that I've been around, the billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, the celebrities, athletes, and entertainers, the highest performers don't simply pursue success. They don't pursue outcomes. They cultivate. They cultivate the mindset, the handset, the heart set that create the behaviors and the habits and the energy to put into motion, the emotions that naturally produce it in that natural equation of results. Success isn't something to chase. Success is something we allow by aligning what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, and what we want or desire in the future or better. Use these formulas, use these exercises, use these guides to get you to where you want to be or better. I promise you, you will make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. This has been Turning Desire into Intention or Action training. We've been doing this for over 28 years, believe it or not. We'll be 29 years, October 11th. We have not missed a week. Sometimes it's happened on Thursday. Sometimes it's happened on Wednesday. But we have hit every single week for over 28 years by being of service and value. Let me be that beloved servant. David means beloved at D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Email me directly. Let me be that beloved servant. Email me, David at dmeltzer.com. If you want the guides, the exercises, my books, I'll sign them, send them to you, pay for shipping, pay for the book. Just email me if you'd like the replay of this training to remind, remember, and recollect with you. David at dmeltzer.com. I'm going to hand it back over to the fearless Nick of WOM, the well-oiled machine. Nick Glazer, reset the room and let's take some questions. What do you say?
I say that sounds amazing as an understatement. And as we quickly reset the room here for everybody that is, of course, on the multicast, as we are live on all platforms, let alone here in the best room and community on Clubhouse, the Breakfast with Champions. It is that special time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Q&A session with the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute, Mr. David Meltzer. So for everybody that is online on the multicast, make sure to put your questions into the chat. And for any of our friends here that are in the Breakfast with Champions, if you are in the audience, please use the hand icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen if you have a question for David today to request to join the stage. And of course, we will bring you up. And for any of our friends that are on stage and already and have a question for David today, please just put a quick note in the room chat and I will be happy to pass the mic over your way. Now, without further ado, with the next 16 minutes here of this Friday training, I want to go ahead and kick it over to Marianne for our first question of the day, as she is here live on Clubhouse. Marianne, my dear, happy Friday. Great to see you here. Why don't you unmute yourself and get us started?
Good morning. Happy Friday. So what I'm curious is when you was just starting out in sales, Dave, and everything, what was your first action that you would take daily?
It would happen the night before. So the first action I took was the preparation the night before. And, you know, it's kind of like laying out your clothes for sales is organizing by studying time. A lot of my non-negotiables started when I started a professional sales job. I've always been selling. I was born with a natural ability. But when I was a professional out of law school, the first step I took was to go ahead and be a student of my calendar, to create a plan to lay out my clothes, like I say, for the next day. So I could be efficient at stimulating interest, transitioning interest, sharing visions, and managing and developing those visions so that my job would thrive. So people would buy from me, but also sell for me for life. And people wondered how my sales kept growing as they kept increasing my comp plan, decreasing my territory. They took credit because of the success of the product, but I knew it was community. I knew that I was prepared each and every day to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful. That's where the power of 64 came from. The initial idea of the non-negotiable behaviors stemmed from the fact that I knew I had the least amount of talent and relationships of anyone they hired. I was the youngest by 4 years. I was the only lawyer they hired that never practiced law. My mom actually made me take the bar because she didn't think it would work, didn't even think the internet would work. But I literally had the basement of our team. And so I knew in order to reach my comp plan, which was $250,000, that I would have to put in double the effort, twice as many hours, 7 days a week. I knew that I would have to learn to be efficient with those hours, to be twice as efficient, so that the 16 hours of productivity would turn to 32 hours of productivity. Because I knew 32 hours of my productivity probably wasn't going to equal what it was needed to get to the 250. Then I really focused in on my statistical success by doing things like laying out my day, just like laying out my clothes the night before. So I knew that 64 hours of productivity a day, by being more hours more efficiently and more statistically successful, would at least allow me the best opportunity to make a lot of money so I could buy my mom a house and a car. Well, it did, but it didn't equal the 8 times that it should have. And including Saturday and Sunday, it made it about 11 times. So I should have outdone my number 11 times. And instead of 11 times, I actually outdid my number by almost 4 times. I did $1 million in 9 months. I was 3 times better than the next person. And there's 4 of us that started Westlaw that ended up exiting for $3.4 billion in 1995. 1992, I used this idea of laying out my clothes, but laying out my day, and the power of 64 to be more effective and efficient and statistically successful. And although everybody gave me great kudos besides paying me for being so far ahead of the rest of the people, I laughed. Because in actuality, if you think about the hours I spent, the efficiency I got, and the statistical success that I had, I actually didn't hit my number. I just beat them with time. I beat them. And the first step of beating people with time was to lay out my day the way we lay out my clothes the night before. And so if anybody, including you, Marianne, would like the Power of 64, it is also in my book, Connected to Goodness. I will send that to anybody. Once again, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll sign that book, send it to you, pay for shipping, pay for the book. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The Power of 64 was the seed of being a student in my calendar with non-negotiable behavior. Thank you for the extraordinary question, and thank you for being such a great member of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Wammer.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're going to keep rocking and rolling. I have Eric Meltzer, no family affiliation, just great kindred spirits and souls here on stage.
Just a great name. He's a servant.
Yeah, Mr. Eric Meltzer, the servant. Why don't you unmute yourself and keep us rolling with the next question?
Cool. Thank you so much, Nick and Dave. So I guess the realization or the thing that clicked in my head with your repetition is it's not just about working harder. It's about interfering with myself less. And I feel that's been a big shortcoming of myself by just trying the same thing. It's like repeating the same thing, expecting the same results. And
that's insanity.
Yeah, that's insanity. So yeah, it really just clicked in my head, and I wanted to thank you for the repetition. It's most helpful.
Yeah, one thing, Eric, to remember about repetition is it's annoying. It's annoying to self, and it's annoying to others. That's why great teachers, mentors, coaches, and parents, they're supposed to be annoying. Just why God, who's your parent, your God, is annoying. Why? Because God's repetitive and honest, and human beings hate repetition and honesty. They hate the truth. They hate being repetitive. And so in order to be a great leader of self and a leader of others, you need to be annoying. You got to be repetitive and honest. And we have to realize that those are two things that inherently, because of the nature of the ego to prove, defend, and control, we don't like. We don't like. So be annoying to yourself, be annoying to others, be repetitive and honest. That at least will get you to where you want to be or better, and help other people get to where they want to be or better. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, very much so. Thank you. I know this wasn't a formal question, but I just wanted to thank you for this.
I turned it into a formal question. So how about that?
Thank you so much. You're the best.
You're the best. All right. There's two best, and they're both named Meltzer. How about that, Nick?
I am not surprised, and we are blessed with the best here in the Breakfast with Champions. And of course, on the webinars, we are multicasting everywhere for today's free Friday trainings that you've been rocking and rolling for over 28 years. Now, I want to keep the Q&A moving as we got 9 minutes left here in this power hour. And for our next question, I'm going to pass it over to Colleen, who is here on stage patiently waiting. Colleen, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, Colleen.
Okay. Love the topic of consistency, and something that came up for me was, is there a difference between someone who's consistent because they love the process and someone who's consistent because they fear their alternative? And does that matter in creating the results you're hoping for?
It does matter, and there's a subtle difference between the two. If you're repetitive, you're going to get better. You're going to accelerate, aggregate, and compound towards where you want to be. But if you're repetitive because you enjoy it compared to fear, you're going to be much more efficient, effective, and statistically successful. Go ahead and mute yourself. So the idea behind it is the repetition is going to accelerate, aggregate, and compound. How much you don't interfere with that consistency in that activity behavior is going to determine how fast you accelerate, how many people you aggregate, or how much energy you aggregate, and the exponentiality or compounding of the results. So both will get you to where you want to be or better. One will get you there faster with more energy and better results. Does that sound right?
It does. Thank you so much.
Hey, Des, what's going on? All right, we got Colleen and Des.
How are you doing?
Right on. Very good. Nick Avam, we got, I'm going to beat you to the punch, 7 minutes. Who's up next?
Absolutely. For our next question, we have Marco Antonio, who is here on stage. Marco, my friend, the mic is yours, and mute yourself and carry us on.
Good morning, Nick. Good morning, David. Thank you. David, today the thing that resonated with me was this conversation about the subconscious mind never stopping. You said 80% of our subconscious mind is negative and influences our future thoughts and behaviors, but I'm thinking about sleep. You know, if our subconscious is still working while we're asleep, you know, how do we, and we're spending about a third of our life sleeping, how do you control that subconscious? How do you train it? You know, what do? Do you dream, you know, and do you pay much attention to those dreams?
Yeah, I do. But you know, the subconscious mind can be programmed, and you can be intentional about your subconscious mind by having an unwinding routine. Just like I lay my close out for the day, when I lay my time out for the day, I lay my day out for my day, because my day starts the night before, just like my sales started the night before. So unwinding routine allows me to put my mind, body, soul in a position to recover, right? Physically, mentally, spiritually, energetically recover, which I know will give me a better performance the next day. Coming from the sports world, everybody knows the better you recover, the better you perform. It is the factor that allows us to compensate for not being as good as other people. We can recover better and be better than others that are better than us. But the second component of the unwinding routine is to access information. So I'm accessing what's going to put form to my subconscious thoughts. I want to access the higher information that will inform my day, will create the information that will allow me to be more accessible and to access what I want or desire in my divine direction or better. And so the key component is my tomorrow starts tonight at 9 p.m. when I put my mind, body, soul in a position to recover and access that information. I'm programming my subconscious by saying thank you before I go to bed, by removing all toxicity before I go to bed. No housewives being on, no discussing with my wife, you know, how are we going to pay for college? I love that question. Thank you very much for asking it right before I go to bed. No, I remove all toxicity, all interference, and I have an unwinding routine and make sure that over 20 years, I have a sleep coach to make sure that the majority of my sleep is supported by a subconscious mind, not distorted by it. That it's at ease, not at dis-ease. And so if anybody would like to learn about the unwinding routine, if you would like to practice the unwinding routine, if you would like to have an unwinding routine, tell me. This is critical. This is one of the most important things that I do. Unwinding, having a sleep coach. David means beloved at D, first initial, Meltzer, servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Marco Antonio, please email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Would love to be your beloved servant. Marco Antonio, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, David. I love that answer, just because I noticed that when I'm watching certain things right before I sleep or pay too much attention to my phone, it disrupts my sleep and my recovery. So it distorts it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
You want to support it, not distort it. There's a Dave Meltzer quote for the day. You want to support, not distort. All right, last question, Nick.
Absolutely. I'm going to pass it over to one of the fan favorites here in the Breakfast with Champions, Princess Ali. Princess Ali, the mic is yours. Unmute yourself and close us out with the final question.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Awesome. Great training as always, David. So my question is going to be around expanding our self-image. And I'm curious, what has life taught you about discerning the difference between expanding self-image and an expanding ego?
Beautiful question. One, I love the word discernment, right? Instead, discernment, such a brilliant, enlightened word. So when I discern that difference of what I'm expanding, I'm categorizing. Is this aligned with where I want to be? Is this aligned with my divine direction? Or is it interfering with it? Right? Because if it's aligned with my divine direction, it's going to be expanding my self-image. If it's interfering with it, it's going to be expanding my ego. The ego that has a need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, worried. Can you see how those will expand the ego? When you worry, when you're resentful, guilty, when you're angry or anxious or frustrated or separate, inferior, is that going to increase your self-image, or is it going to interfere with the expansion of your self-image, which means I'm expanding on the ego's needs to defend, to prove, or control circumstances? And so the categorization process of, is this aligned with where I want to be or better, or is this interfering with it, is key to identifying, is this expanding the ego's interference, or is it expanding my self-image so that I can achieve more of the divine direction? I can accelerate, aggregate, and compound to where I want to be. It's a great way to determine whether you're on the right path, the Tao, the way, by understanding the categorization of our thoughts, beliefs, words, feelings, etc., in alignment with the divine direction and the meaning of the past. Nick Avam, that will complete our training that we've done for over 28 years, turning desire into actions and intention. Please, if you'd like the replay of this, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David means beloved, at D first initial, Meltzer means servant. Nick, please close out the clubhouse, the Breakfast of Champions.
Absolutely. Always a
All righty. Thank you, everyone. This has been Turning Desire into Action. If you would like to replays, the guides, the exercises, my books, once again, pinned right there, david@dmeltzer.com. I'm going to briefly go through where you can catch us. We'll be in Chicago. Then we'll be in Newport Beach. Remember, we do holding courts, meetups, interviews, keynotes, masterminds, and VIP dinners for charity. Chicago, Newport Beach with Tim Story, Jay Abraham, Austin Keene, Marie Diamond. Come and join us. If you're around Newport Beach, that means San Diego, LA, Ventura County, or Orange County, come and join us. We'll be back in Vegas for Summer League, then Philly for the MLB All-Star Game, then New York for Fanatics Fest and a speech out in Long Island. All these VIP dinners, what you call car washes. SoFi Stadium will be at the FC Miami with Messi. We'll be in London for a private member group, a private investor group in London, in Mayfair, and then Breckenridge with the finale, the last available resort, condos there, golf, Ryder Cup of Wine with Virgil Herring and I, and special guests. If you would like to be informed or invited in the 200 different cities we're in, just join our text community. I use it because I can't remember. Gigi can't remember. She was missing the MLB All-Star Game in there. We all can't remember. It's area code 949-298-2905. It's pinned right below. Join us, be informed, be invited. But remember, most importantly, to be more interested than interesting. Be kind. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
Wanna know where David's gonna be? Get invites, updates, and community. When he's in your city, you won't miss a thing. Just text the number, let your phone ring, 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 ring. 949-298-2905. That's 949-298-2905. Events, connection, and opportunity. All in one place. Come join the community. So text it now, don't wait in line. But for life, 949-298-2905. That's 949-298-2905.
Welcome to Office Hours, Hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.